look at doing some schedules from a web supervisor to a JASIC on ASIC 1s. So first thing you want to do is determine where you're going to keep your schedules, and I recommend putting them in the web supervisor. There, of course, are different ways you can do schedules, but I would keep your schedules in the web supervisor and push them to the JASIC. That way when you're doing your graphics, it's easy to set up your screens to go to your graphics and in the WebSup, and everything resides there. I would do your linking in your JASIC though. That way the last known schedule is in the JASIC and it gets pushed to the controller, so you have a local copy in case something happens, and especially if you have different buildings and different sites. If you lose internet connection, you might lose your web supervisor, but you don't lose your JASIC and you don't lose the schedule that already resides there. It just won't update with any changes until the web supervisor connection is restored. So what we'll do is go ahead, and I've got my SI WebSup here. I'm going to put my schedules in my backnet network, and I'm just going to do new folder. I'm going to name it schedules, and I'll go here. I got my palette schedule open, so I'm going to bring out an enumerated schedule. Okay, and let's see, actually let's just go ahead and open it there. You can set up that, and we should put some facets on it. Your facets for enum are going to be your standard facets. You can see here I've got them from where I was looking at them before. An easy way to get that in your history is just to go to, say you went to a like in my JASIC here, let's go ahead and connect. Station modified, and it said cancel. I'll create a new screen, and then do station. But basically you can get it to save by doing a quick thing, and I'll show you how here right quick once we get connected to our station. If you come here and you go to config, drivers, then we're going to go down backnet network. I'm going to find existing controller, not virtuals, points, and so let's say operating state. If I go here and I just click on opera, and this is the discovered point, the facets came in when I discovered it. Click my enum range, okay, then that'll actually put it in the last range there, so you don't have to go through and type all that in. And I'll go ahead and just click save, come back to my enum schedule, and it's there. It was already there before, but it will be there now for you. So you got your facets now match. You can go to your weekly schedule. So we want to make it be state to occupied. Let's say we want it to be Sunday through Friday. We're going to leave Saturday as unoccupied. I'm going to hit save. My default value, I should probably change that. So properties, cleanup special events, default value is unoccupied. So I will save that. Back to my weekly schedule. Now you see I'm unoccupied, occupied here. So that's all we need to do in our WebSup. You see we're in schedules there, so I'm going to close that down, clean up my tree a little bit so I don't get confused where I'm at. And I'm going to go to drivers, Niagara Network, and I've already got, you can see here I've got my WebSup connected. If you don't have a connection to the WebSup, you need to go ahead and make your connection here, put the IP address in. Whether you're using Fox's, Foxport, that all should be stuff you've already got set up, and of course your username and password. So you should already have a good connection, otherwise this won't work. And go to schedules under your WebSup in the Niagara Network and do a discovery. And you should see this clean up. Some of those you're going to remove, and some of them, yeah, there we go. So here's the schedule I just created. And don't be confused because it says enum schedule 1 here and then an enum schedule there. It's because there's already an enum schedule somewhere else that's named, so it's just giving it the 1 to make it be a different unique name. But you notice we go here, now you see your state to unoccupied, state to occupied. You notice you can't change these here. They have to be changed at the web supervisor, and then they get pushed to the JASIC. Alright, what you can do here though is go ahead and right click on it and do a link mark, and then you can go back into your controller, and we're looking for and let's go ahead and go to points. We're looking for multi-state value number 2, In the 6100, it is operating state override, operating state OR. In the 8100, it is also operating state OR, multi-state value 2. However, if you're using IntelliTask, we do rename it to control state, just so everything is the same. So make sure you're looking at multi-state value 2 and not just the name of it. But we can right-click on it and go link from enum schedule. I want my output value. And this is where it changes a little bit. Most people are used to coming in here and said, okay, I'm going to put it to input 10, or I'm going to put it to input 16, or whatever. We don't want to do that. We want to put it to our set command and hit OK. And that is our link. And if we go to our wire sheet, we see right here our set command right there. So let's test it. Let's go back to our, we'll go there so we have a different window. I'm going to close that guy down for a second. I'm going to go back into my web supervisor. I'm going to go drivers, backnet network, schedules. Get it. And then let's change it. Today is Tuesday, so let's change it to be, say, night setback. Tuesday we're going to be night setback. Now what we should see is a change of set from our WebSup, and let's see, that's our points list, schedules. Let's go back to our JASIC schedule, right, yeah, here's our WebSup, here's our schedule. It hasn't updated yet, but it will. It takes a few minutes sometimes. I think our retry trigger is probably set to be 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes. So within 15 minutes, your schedule should update. And I paused just and saw a couple minutes there. It took about 3 or 4 minutes, but you can see now our operating state override just changed to set state to night setback. That's on our backnet network in our JASIC. And if I go here, here's my night setback for my enum schedule, but they're in my JASIC. And that is that. One thing that I would show you is right here, you see occupancy status. This is something we're getting ready to change the name to be status switch, because, status switch. It's a little confusing because this is dependent on an input switch, so like an occupancy sensor basically. It's not a true occupancy status based on the controller. If you're looking for are we occupied or not, the best thing to look at is our MSB2. That would be a good representative to show you what the current status is of your controller, because that's, you see it's a night setback, but a current occupancy status says true. That's meaning the occupancy status switch, which is not being used right now, so it's just defaulting to true. So don't be confused by that. That will be changing in probably the next firmware, but that's how you do schedules. And then from there you can create your schedule from your web supervisor into your graphic.